Right, I guess we're doing this. Welcome to Still Against All Odds. Alongside producer Mikey Meatballs, I'm joined by the degenerate trifecta, Parlay Kid, and Brother Bri. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Joe?
What's going on, buddy?
What's going on is we are taping this on St. Patrick's Day, which means I think Harry is out looking for his pot of gold, stumbling around. He does a different kind of green, that guy, but that's every day. But no worries, I've got my own Lucky Charms here, Bri and the Parlay Kid. Patrick's Day, it's a pretty big Long Island thing, right?
Sure is.
Yeah, corned beef and cabbage or green bagels.
Yeah.
Although I celebrated it already. There was a St. Patty's Day party over the weekend. That was, so I don't need any more St. Patty's Day food. Although I like it. I'm a big corned beef and cabbage guy.
I always like, if you like growing up, especially in New York, like in my 20s, even if you weren't Irish, it was just like an excuse to go out and drink and hang out, and that's why St. Patrick's Day is the best. I mean, what a great holiday! That's what you want out of a holiday.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of March Madness, we are, oh my gosh, as you're listening to this, probably less than 24 hours away. The play-in games are going on right now. This is so exciting because nothing changes from when you're like a teenager watching this, and now I am a father watching this. It is the same excitement I get filling out brackets, getting my highlighters, and it's just so exciting. Brian Parlay Kid.
Yeah, I mean it's the best time. It's one of the best times of the year. I mean, Darren, it's a tough weekend for me in general because I am absolutely love March Madness. But I will follow the women's March Madness to a T, the men's, the NCAA wrestling. I mean, that's 3 days. So it is, thankfully I have multiple TVs, but it's hard to try and keep up with everything that's going on. Everything.
Yeah. You don't want to miss a moment, Parlay Kid.
No, it's, you know what? And this is the thing as a teacher, right? So you hear a lot of people always say like, oh, March is the longest month because there's usually like no days off in March. They complain about that. But to me, March is such an exceptional month because of what Brian's saying between obviously the basketball. And if you're a wrestling fan, it just makes it absolutely fantastic. So great time of the year, Joel. We're going to enjoy the next almost month. And then what's great about that, then you got baseball starting, right? Then you got hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs. It's just a wonderful time of the year. Hold on one second. I got to change my hat, Joe. Hold on. I forgot about this. I wear this on all the St. Patty's Day pods.
Right now, Parlay Kid's wearing a Dayton hat.
Oh, we know what he's putting on.
Oh, there it is. He's wearing the JFK. It looks like the JFK Jr. hat.
Top of the morning to you, Charlie.
Amazing.
This is the Little A wedding hat. And this is a Little A wedding hat.
Best wedding in the history of weddings. And you know what? I'd like to give Lil A props. Lil A. That was the best wedding in the history of wedding almost 2 years ago now. He's already beat the over. Brian and Sal had the under in the marriage. I had the over only because she's such a great person, not because of Lil A.
Yeah.
But it was honestly the greatest wedding in the history.
Oh yeah,
of weddings.
It was 3 weddings in 3 days.
It was a whirlwind of just one awesome thing after another. So I wear this in honor of Lil A, believe it or not, and Ireland. And Brian and I, even though our last name is Zaccoli, doesn't sound very Irish. It's not, but on our mother's side, we're very Irish. So hence, so my skin cancer problems, so.
Listen, you are tremendously a white. I've never seen you tan, and
I used to tan. To tan, and that was the problem.
Yeah.
I used to have
dark.
I had dark. I was dark. Now, it's unbelievable. I just burn. I don't know what happened, and now I'm paying the price for it though, Joe. Wear hats and sunblock all the time. You got to do it.
All right. Well, I love and that had it works for you. It works for you. Hopefully, it brings you luck on some picks today.
Let's go.
We're gonna get to a lot of these picks. By the way, I was thinking of like March Madness moments, and that's why you always like remember where you were. And like these moments that stand out for you. My buddies were reminding me today at the 93 Final Four when Michigan, Kentucky went into overtime. We were at our friend Brad's bar mitzvah, and all the kids like went to the bar and were watching the game because Fab Five was such a big thing. In Pittsburgh, the year Coppin State beat South Carolina, I only remember that because I was there. And of course, going to Buffalo, I saw Hofstra take on Oklahoma State with Desmond Mason and Doug Gottlieb, and oh my God, those guys in college, they just dominated. That's when you saw you're like, oh wow, now I get majors versus mid majors. But the my favorite March Madness moment, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for telling you this, was in let's see, 2024 when Lehigh beat Duke. And I remember that specifically because my wife went into labor and our entire house, we had gotten like pizza and wings or it was food everywhere. And I didn't want to go because I couldn't believe what I was watching. And to
You
this,
didn't want to go.
I did not want to go. I was like, I can't even believe we're leaving in this moment. And to this day, my wife, God bless her, was still just remember like that truly was March Madness. And anytime those highlights come on, I that's where I'm taken back to that moment. So I'm sure there's tons of those moments for everybody, for you guys included. I don't know if any stand out like your favorite March Madness moment.
I mean, I think it's easy for me. I'm a bit older than you guys. I do think the Valvano championship, NC State over Houston with that fantastic Houston team. That to me, I was right at that, such a terrific age with really getting into that NCAA tournament. And, for me, I at Dayton in 1990, I was able to witness them make a run to, they won they upset as a 12 seed. They upset the 5 seed in Illinois, which had Kendall Gill on the team at the time, and then lost a heartbreaker, Arkansas, who had Todd Day at the time. They had a very good team. We still tore the ghetto down in Dayton that night, though, Joel. Either way,
That is the best.
it was unbelievable. So we had some great moments. I also think when I was a senior in 1992, Dayton hosted, as they always do, but like they hosted the first 2 rounds of the tournament. So me and my pals, Sean Murphy and Tom Quigley, who I constantly have a texting back and forth about Dayton basketball, we were able to enjoy, 4 games on a Friday and then 2 on a Sunday, and it was like some of the greatest days of my life, just being able to do that.
Oh my God.
It was fantastic. I mean, not that I couldn't do that now, but there was something about it. Dayton wasn't in it that year, but just being able to go and just watch basketball all day with some of the best guys in the world.
Well,
Awesome.
Brian and I are a little closer in age, and I'm curious because I bet his are similar. In high school, I would get dropped off at school, and then keep going, and then make a U-turn right to my
Right back home.
buddy Kevin's house, or my house, or Neil's house, and just start watching games. And that was I don't even know why my parents even bothered taking me to school that day, but
Yeah, I wish I did that.
yeah.
I wish I cut school in high school. I wish they gave us the days off, but I felt like that's what I started doing later, like once I was in college, I probably played, hooky from Thursday, Friday classes and just watched the tournament. But yeah, Joel, I don't know. Growing up though, I was a big Michigan fan. I mean, I still root for them, but not anything crazy anymore. But the Fab Five just got me
The best.
super into
Oh,
Michigan.
yeah.
So those 2 Fab Fives, like Final Four, championship seasons were just. I mean, not
Oh,
that they
my
won.
gosh.
I mean, not that they won, but it was just like that was just.
Yeah.
Those matchups, whether it was Duke or whether it was UNC, those are just some crazy
Oh,
times
yeah.
that I just remember just being so upset at
Oh,
Michigan losing
you would
those games.
you would know the whole roster
Oh,
and oh yeah, it was like if one friend had a Chris Webber jersey, you had to get Juwan Howard, or then
Yeah, and it
someone
was
else had
just
to get Ray Jackson or Jimmy King.
yeah,
Oh,
and they
for
just
sure.
had those, those uniforms, right, with the long, long
The
shorts.
Black
yeah.
Sox, the Black Sox, man. The funny thing is, everyone was on Michigan, so I somehow gravitated to Indiana because Indiana had Calbert Cheney, and I, had to be different. So I kind of
Wow.
was on those Indiana teams where it was like Allen Henderson, Damon Bailey. So
Damon
anyway,
Bailey.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to
Great
get to
stuff.
this year's tournament very quickly, though. We got an email. A buddy has run a pool for many years. A few years ago, he declared that it's a lot of work for him, and he decided he should get free entries, three of them. Then a couple years ago, he said his wife and two kids should each get one. I think it's honestly BS. What do you think? He says that he sends out update emails and makes it enjoyable. It's $100 buy-in. He's getting six total entries for free, $600. And he did say that he pays a 95 unit fee to I don't want to say the website, and that past participants will tell you I do a pretty thorough job of providing updates and daily emails. I'm not sure what those consist of.
Hmm.
You can just go to the website, but I don't know. That's a pretty hefty take, especially to take three, Bri, and then some for your kids.
Yeah, I mean, wait, did it say? Wait, it didn't say how big the pool was, right?
It does because I looked it up. It is well, this guy sent me the link. It is a hefty. It is a $10,000 and up prize. So it is a hefty, but
Okay, but yeah, I mean, that seems like a lot.
yeah.
600. Look, I mean, again, it depends how much work you're doing, and it depends, like, yeah, if you were not, if people were begging you to run it,
I mean, he's not calling in
to
sick to
keep
do
it out.
this.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays I feel like there's so much stuff you don't really have to do too much work. I mean, six, obviously you cover the fee of the site, that's fine. Maybe you're getting
Also,
one extra pick.
how old are these kids?
Yeah,
If
that's
they're
that's
8 year,
weird.
yeah.
Anyway, what's the whole idea of we're giving my kids and my
Well,
wife a pick?
Yeah.
What just you're
Who's
getting?
who's really filling those
well,
in?
listen, Joel.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you don't have to do it.
Yes, this is
I
true.
mean, like you don't have. There's a gazillion pools, right? Like, if you don't like what your buddy's doing, you just exit the pool. Like, so I don't know. I feel like in this case, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more than other people I know who run pools, but at the same time, like, just don't do the pool. I mean, I know a guy who runs pools all year long, Joe, all year long. He's very transparent about it. I think he takes like 10%.
Okay.
Guys making over six figures running pools. Like
Well,
he literally runs like all week long, and
you got to have a pool guy. I like that.
you got well. I don't really do it because it's just too. It would be. I don't do his pools anyway, but I do know a guy. But yeah, just don't do the pool. Like, don't complain about it. Just say, look, so I'm in a million. Like, I've exited out of a lot of pools because I'm in so many. I can't even keep track of them all. I can't even do it.
Well, I'm just glad we've cleared up the whole pool pole thing because Sal will get very upset with me if I say it
Well,
wrong.
Weird that you
I think-
call them poles.
Yeah, I
Strange. I
mean,
mean, that
look,
is wild. Are you from a different country? Like,
I think it's my
where were you
accent.
born?
it was only Joel, only Joel.
God, that is the thing with Sal. You make a mistake once, you never live it down. Never live it down. So good luck to your pools or your polls, whatever you're in. Good luck to you. And let's get to Thursday's games because Bri is kicking us off with his favorite bet on Thursday. And Tate Frazier might not be happy with this one, even
Well,
though I think he's doing it.
I look, Darren talked about this the other day. Tate's got some friends at VCU. But look, I think VCU getting 2.5 points here, I would take that. I really like that. I mean, obviously UNC just a different team without Caleb Wilson. I think they're 5-3 since he's been out. And then, VCU is a team, tough under Phil Martelli Jr. They've won 16 of 17. I mean, that A10 is still, it's still a tough conference. And I feel like whether it's Dayton or VCU in the past, you do get some upsets there. So I would, I haven't liked what I've seen from UNC out, without Wilson. So I would take VCU there, getting the 2.5. I think it's definitely definitely a close game for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is feeling like that's a game that could go either way. And if you like VCU, might as well take those points. Parlay Kid, another one I like. Talk to us
Yeah,
about South
and
Florida.
I do think there's a lot of people jumping on this. So, I'm not sure. I don't like when everybody's on a team, but as I was kind of looking it up, and I'm finding that a lot of people like South Florida over Louisville here this weekend, the 6-11 matchup. South Florida, Joel, on a 12 game winning streak at this time. Sorry, I should have said 12 versus 5 seed. I think, did I say 6 versus 11? I was getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But the great offensive rebounding team. Brian Hodgins, an up-and-coming coach, supposedly Syracuse is knocking at his door big time. So hopefully he's not really distracted about that. They play a very fast tempo, 15th fastest in the nation, averaging 87.7 points per game. Louisville, a little bit banged up. Their best player has been hurt down the stretch here. I like them getting 5.5 points here, South Florida. I think that's, as we get even closer to game time, that's going to go a little bit down. Jump on South Florida where you can. Good coach, up-tempo system, great offensive rebounding team, multiple different guys who can score. Let's take South Florida, at least with those points.
That is, I like it too, and I have South Florida advancing in my bracket. Harry is he sent us. He loves this one. High Point plus 10.5 against Wisconsin. High Point is first in point differential and fourth in the nation in scoring. Harry wanted me to point out they've scored 90 plus points 14 times this season. That is a lot of points, but I don't know how many teams like Wisconsin they faced off, but no. Harry's riding High Point, and that would, I think, I don't know if he knows where High Point is, but I would like it. I like it, Bri. I take it.
Yeah, I mean, I told Darren would probably get on him because is this a Harry being lazy? He mentioned this the other day right away, right? And just sticking with it. But yeah, look, I could see a team like High Point. I mean, I think it's a big spread here, right? What was it, 10.5, Joe?
Yeah, plus 10.5.
This was a Clark Kellogg on the bracket show. Like this matchup here for High Point.
Yeah, and look, they're going to come out and score, and we'll see. It is that time of year where I guess you're looking for teams that can hit deep from three, and you never know. So we'll get to Friday's games after the break. That's what those guys like on Thursday. And we're going to make sure our final four picks are locked and loaded. That's coming up as well right after the break. All right, now let's get to Friday's first round action. And Bri, I think one of the biggest games I went back and forth on is the one you picked. It's probably one of the closest games of the whole tournament. And Missouri, Miami. Which way you
Yeah, I'm gonna take Missouri. Getting 1.5. It's funny. This is like Miami a few years ago. Was that 2 years ago? I mean, I felt like they just kept killing me. I kept going against them, and they just kept winning. But look, it's funny. So a friend of mine pointed this out. There's been like a lot of trends around like the amount of travel that teams have to make and how well if there's a big variation in the amount of travel, how well the teams that don't have to travel much, how well they do. It's around like 65% for some of these different trends. And Missouri kind of fit this trend here. They're playing this game in St. Louis, Missouri, which is like 100 miles from them, I think, around something like that. Whereas Miami's traveling, over 1,000 miles. And like when you look at those differentials, that for whatever, I mean, doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but for whatever reason, that has been a big deal when it comes to some of these spreads. So, I haven't, I don't, outside of Virginia and Duke, don't really love some of the ACC teams here. So I did want to play Missouri getting the points here. I thought maybe at some point, probably be even, pick them, or I thought maybe Missouri eventually would be a favorite here, but I'm going to take the 1.5.
Yeah. Again, if you're on, just like a lot of these games, if you're on the fence, who to pick. Might as well take him getting a point or two. It could make
Yeah, it's basically a
big difference.
basically a home game for them. I mean, I know it's still some travel, but it's pretty much a home game.
Interesting, because that leads us into Parlay Kids pick on Friday. Villanova traveling across the country to San Diego, and you're like in this Utah State.
Yeah, Utah State. I like Utah State anyway. I've watched them play. They are a very good team. Another up and coming coach in Gerard Calhoun. I like them. Look, minus a point and a half. I think they were at 2.5, but I just saw them on FanDuel at 1.5-point favorites. They are also hot. They're riding a lot of momentum. They have some elite metrics where you got an offense that's in the top 30 in offensive efficiency and a defense that's in the top 50 in defensive efficiency. That's pretty good. When you get two units in the top 50 together, that means you're pretty good, obviously, on both sides of the ball. They are physical, they pressure you, and they have good veteran leadership. Villanova, that east to west coast situation can be a little daunting. Obviously these teams get there in plenty of time, but it's still a little bit more wear and tear on that East Coast team for sure. I really like Utah State as a ball club, and I think Villanova. I think was a word out too that a little beat up too in terms of maybe dealing with some injury in their starting unit. So Utah State, with the way they play, fun team. Really want to see them win this game. I have them winning this game.
Yeah, and it's a classic 8-9 game where really it seems like they could have been seeded either way. So
correct.
If you're gonna have an upset, take Utah State. And then Harry once again going with a massive spread. He likes Cal Baptist plus 14.5 against Kansas. He's pointing out Dominic Daniels, 6 of the last 9 games has had 28 points, and 8 Jayhawks losses were by 10 or more. I love how he falls in love with these teams, or that he just doesn't like Bill Self in Kansas. All I can tell you about Cal Baptist is I looked it up right. I had no idea what their nickname was. I don't even know if you want to guess, because if I didn't know it, I'm not sure if you guys would, but is it the Lancers, the Cal Baptist Lancer? So Harry taking Cal Baptist.
Well, I hope they lose by 100, not because I hate Harry, but because they're dropping their wrestling program.
Oh,
so I hope Cal Baptist gets absolutely hammered in basketball, and they then make a decision to just fold the whole basketball program as well.
I can't even believe you knew that, and I didn't even know how is Cal Baptist on the
division. They're good. They're pretty solid D1 wrestling program. Am I thinking of Cal Poly, Bri? Oh boy, did I mess that up?
It might be Cal Poly.
Well, my apologies.
No Cal team should be dropping their wrestling team regardless. Parlay Kid. That is.
Now I gotta look. Now shoot. Michael, you won't have to edit this either way. It's could be my mistake, but keep going, Joel. I'll look. Keep going.
Okay, no, it is. Cal Baptist Wrestling is competing in its final season, 25-26.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew it. All right.
You had it right. They will discontinue the program along with men's golf and swimming, despite raising over $1 million to save the program. But maybe it went to the basketball program.
Oh, man.
Maybe Harry's onto something. This is the kind of research that Harry should be giving. But CBU cutting the wrestling program, which completes in the Big 12 conference. Wow.
Pretty good wrestling programs. Shame on them. Karma, it's going to catch up to them. Big time losses. Sorry, Harry.
Yeah, look at that. You learn something every day from listening to the pod. Shame on Baptist and getting rid of your wrestling program. Anyway, hey, after the break, one more look at our Final Four teams. And hey, who are these guys think is going to reach the Sweet 16? Their Cinderella pick coming up after the break. All right, fellas, before we get to these Cinderella Sweet 16 picks, I am very excited about our new sponsor, Tipmaster. The D3 and I have all joined already. A great lineup of tipsters, and each day we're giving out our picks. If you haven't already downloaded the app, you definitely want to download it. download it, follow us. You get alerts every time your favorite tipster makes a tip, so you don't have to go back and look every day. You'll get an alert once you follow us and sign up for them. You can see how we've been doing for the month, for the week, who is riding a hot streak. Parlay Kid was riding a four bet streak. I had won 4 out of 5 going into today. And soon we'll see who among us is the ultimate tip master. It's great. It's easy to use. Very soon we're gonna have a promo code for you and more exciting news. So head over to the website or download the Tipmaster app. Parlay Kid has gotten into it. I think he wants to be on top of that leaderboard.
Yeah, listen, and my guess would be none of us. I mean, I know, Joe, is Harry charging for his picks? That would be so Harry-like. Is he?
All right. Well, that is the thing.
I'm just giving out some free picks here, Joe, for everybody.
You can charge for your picks.
You can.
You can adjust how much. Right now, we're giving out free picks. I want to get raise that win streak up a little bit more before I start charging.
Yeah,
but
same.
But no, Harry, I think you do have to Western Union him for the pick. I do think that's how he's doing it. But I think that should be his license plate, by the way. Tipmaster is how he should roll. That would be a great license.
Great. Absolutely.
Oh, it's the Tipmaster. There he is. Oh, man. All right. See, I'm going to get in trouble already. It's only our second pod with them as a sponsor. Hey, let's go to there's odds up on who which team to reach which round. You can bet on a team to reach the Sweet 16. And I pose the question to these guys, give me like at least a 5 seed. It doesn't have to necessarily be a Cinderella, but let's make some money. And Parlay Kid, you're jumping on a team that Bri already talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah, right. So as an A10 fan, a fan of UD, I know one team we can never beat, especially over the last 5 or 6 years, is the VCU, right? So, and I love Coach Martelli. I think he's talking about an up and coming coach. Obviously, comes from a family of coaches. His dad was a great St. Joe's coach, and I'm sure his dad behind the scenes is still having some input on game planning, etc. too, to help his son. VCU's got a great young staff. I mean, Tate Frazier, supposedly, he's friends with all of them. So interesting dilemma for Tate in this first round matchup. But look, here's what VCU does so well. Okay, they're very versatile. They come at you with they're very deep off the bench. They can play multiple different styles. They can play fast. They can play defensively. They make it very difficult on opposing teams with their length, with their aggressiveness, etc. They average about 82 points per game. Terrence Hill Jr. has been fantastic for them all season long. UNC, without Wilson, obviously, is a much different team here. So I think I won't be the only one like Brian had taken them. We won't be the only ones jumping on a team like VCU. And then I like this second round matchup, probably against Illinois. Illinois, too, a little bit banged up. And I think it's a really good matchup for VCU. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to come at you. They got 8 different guys that can score, 10 different guys that can defend. I think they get here 10-1, Joel, to make the Sweet 16. Not bad considering in this first round, it's almost, it could almost go off as a pick 'em eventually. So I like them at 10-1 to hit this at Sweet 16.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. They have looks like a favorable second round, Illinois in the second round, perhaps, or Penn. If they can pull off the upset.
I like their matchups.
Before we get to Bri, Harry gave out the 6 seed BYU, which a lot of people like, plus 310. You've got AJ Dibansa, who leads the nation in scoring, 25.3 points per game as just a freshman. Now, the thing with that is you'd get possibly BYU Gonzaga second round, which is, I feel like, a very Harry-esque game. But no, he likes BYU. He likes BYU all of a sudden, which is interesting because one of his bitter rivals is a big BYU fan. So
that's yeah. Although it's funny too. Like I'm pretty sure Harry really hasn't seen Devonta play this year. He's just,
Well, we called him
yeah.
DiBiase the other night.
Yes,
So,
he did.
Yes.
He was
Uh,
way off on that name, which means, how much he's watched him.
well,
Um,
for BYU, no, I agree. They could certainly make a run,
yeah,
and then that would be the best because it could be BYU Purdue in the Sweet 16, and then Harry will be the biggest BYU fan in the country. So.
yeah. Well, the BYU point guard was on that Montverde academy team with started with like Cooper Flag
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Queen and all those guys. So I got to see them play. So that was an awesome team. So yeah, BYU certainly could get there.
BYU, yeah, and then we got Bri, who's going with a true Cinderella, a team that was not even remotely on my radar. So listen up, because Bri, is this your lock of the year? Do you want to go on the record?
Well, I don't know about a lock of the year because this team is 20-1 to make the Sweet 16. But look, I think, when you're looking for value, right? I think, last year, look, a lot of these games went chalk. Historically, right? The 5-12 matchup is usually historically good for the 12 seeds. So I think it's good to look at one of the 12 seeds, maybe a 10 seed. If you want some really good value. So when I was looking at this, I had to look at that little, I had to look at the bracket to see who's obviously playing next. And so I thought in terms of best team, best odds to pick I thought McNeese State at 20-1 was good because look, I think Vanderbilt obviously had a great year in the SEC. But look, McNeese State last year as a 12 seed beat Clemson. I don't know if you remember that game. That was a game where they got up huge on Clemson. Clemson almost came back and won that game. But that Clemson team was a really good team last year. And they beat them up early. They're an athletic defensive team. So I think they certainly. I just like that box of games, like because you have Nebraska Troy.
Exactly.
Harry talked about the other day. Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament game. So, who knows with the Troy game, you never know. Maybe Troy upsets Nebraska, McNeese State comes out, and then look, 20-1 odds. I thought that was just a fun bet considering like when you're looking at like some good odds for like a 12 seed.
Yeah, no, I agree because that's who I was looking at, Troy, and you never know. That could be the one bracket that you're seeing double digits and possibly, Troy and McNeese playing in the second round. So I like it. All right. Now one more time, let's give out our final four picks. Harry has Michigan State, Florida, Arizona, and Michigan. He's got Michigan State winning it all. Parlay Kid has St. John's, Houston, Arizona, Alabama, and Houston to win it all. Now I gave him the choice with Aiden Holloway kind of no longer available for the Crimson Tide. I gave him the choice, and especially because they've got Hofstra in the first round. Parlay Kid, last chance. You still want to take Alabama? I feel like you are a man of your word lately. So,
I can't go back on it, Joel. I gave it out. What am I going to do? I mean, I get it, but we can't erase the podcast that we did, right? So, well, I guess we could erase it, but what is the kid doing? What is going through your mind? You fool!
Unbelievable.
To let your teammates down like that, to let yourself and your family down like that, absolutely atrocious. Here's what I would like to bank on is the rest of the team coming, really stepping up and being like, hey, let's win without him. Let's win without him. Look what he did to us. Let's show him that we don't need him. That's what I'm hoping.
I don't know. Or I hope that he was the secret ingredient to that team and now Hofstra takes advantage. So, but listen, this is if I'm telling you, Parlay Kid was the coach of Bama. That would never have happened. That would have never happened anyway. Bry's got UConn, Houston, Purdue, Michigan, and he's got Houston winning it all. And I'm going to go Duke, Florida, Arizona, Iowa State. I'm going to take Arizona to win it all. I feel like they've just been the best team all season, head and shoulders.
They have. They have. If you watch their games, they seem like the best team. I'm just, they've screwed me so many times over the years that I'm just like, I don't know if there's something with that those Western teams just can't win it. Maybe.
Well, it's like you always have to eliminate on something. Like I can't pick Florida to repeat with
Right.
Duke and that region. I just can't go with Duke. Out of that Midwest, like I just think there's going to be upsets. And I, as much as I want to ride Iowa State, I certainly don't think they're going to win it all. So yeah, it's a process of elimination pick for me, and I like Arizona. Now the pick that really hits typically is Brother Bri is going to give out his women's national champion, and Bri, I turn to you.
Look, I have I'm historically good at picking these winners. Last year I had UConn. The year before I had South Carolina. I will say 3 years ago I got that LSU Iowa beating South Carolina, upsetting them, the major upset with Caitlin Clark, and then LSU ended up winning that championship. Really screwed me. I think that cost me a lot of money. But Joel, I'm going to I'm going to go back with the big favorite. I probably should have jumped on them earlier in the year. UConn is like minus 250, minus 240, maybe a little lower. I mean, I think there's a couple teams that could win it. I mean, it's UConn, it's Texas, it's UCLA. I mean, if I was picking a second team, I would probably go UCLA just from what I've seen this year. Texas, South Carolina, there's, your typical 4 or 5 teams, I think, in there. But UConn last year, they dominated the tournament, and a lot of that had to do with how good they were defensively. And now, like, if you watch them this year, they're just as good, if not better, defensively. Probably the best player in the country in Sarah Strong, or 2 of the 3 best players, Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd. They have a lot of good players off the bench. There's a girl from Lehigh around the corner, Kaylee Heckel, who comes off the bench and does a really good job for them. So, I think UConn, they'll be tested a little bit more this year in the tournament. But I'm even as a big favorite at minus 250, I'm still taking it.
Yeah, it is. It really is a huge drop off in odds. UCLA is plus 500, Texas plus 850. So sometimes it is just better to just go with the chalk. And if UConn's done it so many times before, so
yep.
Who am I to argue with, Bri? Speaking of arguing, we did get some emails. He's not here, so we have to save it for next week. But we got some emails now defending Harry about Matt Painter. That he needs to win. He needs to win it all, and that he is a good coach. He's not a great coach. I don't know if we've ever exactly said he's a great coach, but that losing to a 16 seed was unforgivable. And Parlay Kid, I think we have to get into it now, but I don't know what does Matt Painter have to do in this tournament run, because I don't know. We've seen a lot of coaches take, not exactly powerhouses in basketball and build up a program. Tony Bennett lost the 16 game also, and then came back and won a championship. I was, thinking of the coach I love the most, Jay Wright, who kind of built up a, not the biggest of blue blood school in Villanova, and he won 2 championships. But to cut down the nets, not always easy to do, especially in this new era.
How hard it is.
And the fact that Purdue is getting top seeds and in the tournament every year, it says a lot about the coaching.
Absolutely, it does, Joel. And look, I said I'll be the first to say I've called him a great coach. I think in a school that hasn't produced, Purdue has not produced. Painter hasn't had lottery pick after lottery pick. He had Edie, who was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, not a 4-star, not a 5-star. And, he hasn't done any, he's been okay in the NBA, but his teams aren't winning games. He's going to be 3rd on the all Big Ten coaches win list by January of next year. Winning a championship is hard. Everything has to fall in place for you to do so. And look at Roy Williams. I don't like people like that. It's hard. It's hard to do what he does.
Right.
And he, to me, is one of the best at it. He's been there for a long time now. It's not easy,
Roy Williams. There's guys like Roy Williams didn't win it at Kansas, had to go to North Carolina Again, not easy to do, and like that's why I compared him to Mark Few, who's in a definitely not nearly as tough as a conference, and
Would we say Few is great though, right? Few's a
he,
great coach.
yeah.
It's
So
great.
we're
You're
gonna
right.
see. This is when I guess legacies are made in March, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Hey, very quickly, we don't have to, but did you want to do this? I wanted to do a Sicoli versus Sicoli March Madness all-time draft.
I
Now,
might have
Parlay
played my
Kid,
hand already.
you might have played your hand a little bit. Bri, I don't know if you had time to do your research. So we could either quickly draft or I could do Parlay Kid's all-time team, this looks like. And I'm
Uh,
hoping you didn't see it, but
well, I wasn't sure, were we actually drafting? I probably missed this in terms of, are we actually going back
yeah, I
and
think
forth
I botched
drafting?
this.
you'll go back and forth 5 players, and
Okay.
I feel like your college basketball is this stands the test of time. So you can go all the way back to Lou Alcindor to
Well, I guess that's the thing, right? How
Iver,
far back?
you could do Iverson,
Yeah, I was
but
yeah, I
Mateen
was
Cleaves. You
I
want to
was
go,
going
guys?
back, right. I was going back to basically when I first started watching. So
I
I
think
think that's
I think we
fair.
should put you on the spot, and I'll even give Parlay Kid first pick. And Bri, you can take your time, look up anything you need to know.
sure.
No, it's all right.
But I feel like from let's try this
Let's
out.
go back and forth. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we'll go back and
so the
forth.
point guard.
You any pick,
Okay.
5 players. Yeah,
Point
you want to put yeah and I know you're probably thinking of a guy like Magic. Put him wherever you want. But
Listen,
yeah,
that's where I'm going. My number one pick. I first started watching college basketball really in 1979 because I was enthralled by Magic Johnson, right? The name, right? Just the name, Magic Johnson, doing things that other players didn't do. He's my number one pick. I'll start with the point guard because point guards win championships in the NCAA tournament, Joe. He's
amazing first
also the
pick.
MVP. He's also the MVP of the tournament as well.
Amazing first pick, and he'll always have bragging rights on Larry Bird for that. Bri, you could take Larry Bird. Who do you want with your?
Well, I would certainly think Larry Bird. Well, I don't have to take a point guard because Darren already has one. I know, and I guess when you're looking at this, if you're judging this, if I take Jordan here, are you gonna are you looking solely at college career? Like, what? Even though it's great.
Well, this is your pick. I mean, if you wanted to take a Steph Curry who lit it up for Davidson, and then we all know what he became. But it is Michael and I will decide whoever.
I'll take Jordan. I'll take Jordan.
All right, I'm going to put him at your two
shooting. My shooting yesterday.
guard. All right, so back to Parlay Kid.
Yeah, and look, here's the difference: is I'm taking all winners here. So, and I'm making a little switcheroo here from what I had written down. I'm going to be taking at center Patrick
I know,
Ewing.
I love it. Amazing pick.
And I was
love
thinking
it.
of Olajuwon, and again, I'm not going to go back to Bill Walton at that time. I'm going with the players I've seen. And Ewing was such a great college. He was a great pro player, but in college he was
Dominated.
There was
Hoya
something
Destroyer.
about Ewing. Like people, Patrick Ewing. He was kind of like a hated figure in a way. Like there was something about that Georgetown team that people feared, right?
But you know what I love about
Ewing was the guy.
is he also started the trend of centers at Georgetown. That went to
Yes.
Mourning and Mutombo,
Yes.
and Fella Harrington, and all those guys. No, love that pick. That is a tough one to beat, Bri. But you have Michael Jordan so far. So
I have Michael Jordan. Look, I will take. Well, again, I didn't get. Joel, you and I didn't get to see these guys in the moment. I mean, I watched plenty of documentaries and other stuff to see this, but I'll do the same as Darren from the late 70s or 80 on, and I'll take Bird for this one. I'll take Bird here as you can put him as my small forward.
Hey, tremendous pick, and I think yeah, of course. Are you kidding me? That's so legendary stuff that he took that Indiana State team to the finals.
Crazy.
And it's one of the best shooters of all time. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm realizing he left some big centers on the board. So taking Ewing early might have be a better strategy for you, Bri. So back to Parlay Kid. Magic and Patrick Ewing. He's building a dream team. Who's next, Parlay Kid?
Okay, let's go let's stick with the small forward then here,
Yes,
right? And
I
let's
think-
go with Melo.
I love it.
All right,
Yeah.
Syracuse Melo was awesome. MVP,
One of the
By the
best
way,
freshmen ever. Yeah.
these three guys were all MVPs of these championship runs that I've taken so far. So, I love Melo at that time. I liked Melo with the Knicks, but I almost liked Syracuse Melo better. There was something about that year with him, and really being able to root for Syracuse as a New York team. Melo was special as a freshman that year.
Yeah, unforgettable. And
Yep.
yeah, took Syracuse. But yeah, speaking of coaches that might have been overrated, Jim Boeheim never wins a title without Carmelo Anthony. So
Sure.
where's Harry on that?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, Harry will say I've never said he's great. His argument will be like, he'll basically say we say he's not great, but I think Darren and I would say Boeheim's a great coach, right? He's still a great coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, still had to win a championship. But yeah, Carmelo, I love that pick. Brother Bri, back to you. Oh, some good ones on the board he's left. We could go. You could go. There's a lot of Duke players. I don't want to give you
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna go to, and I guess I could slot him in. Do I slot him in at center or power forward? I'll go with Leitner. I mean, in terms of just
power forward, right?
Bad boy college, all-time college, he's got a, he definitely goes down as one of the probably 2 or 3 best college players ever, right? I feel like
yeah. No, for sure. Are you kidding me? Everyone was he was the prototypical college player, and yeah, he's who you think of when you think of Duke in the 90s. So I think I'll put him at power forward for you because there's still some centers there. I'd love for you to consider. Back to Parlay Kid. I love this. Here we go. You got
I gotta stick power forward here, and I remember this because senior year of high school, and I thought this guy. I thought he was a very good pro, good pro, but I think because of knee injuries, his career was slightly derailed, and that is Danny Manning of Kansas at my power forward spot. He could kind of do it all at that time, which was a little different from that power forward position because he was, a skilled power forward, which at that time you didn't see that many of them around in the the 80s. Obviously, the position today has changed, but Danny Manning was just a really versatile player, MVP of that championship team right there. So, 1988, Danny Manning is my power forward.
Yeah, no, that's right. And especially you would remember, like that was the guy, I grew up in the 90s. Danny Manning was so good in college. He was like one of the guys that you would first hear about. He was better in college than he was in the pros. Also, he went to the Clippers, but oh man,
Sure.
Danny Manning at Kansas, another great pick. You've got one more left, Bri. You've got 2.
Yeah, I got 2. I guess I'll go center here. And again, I'm taking this from the 80s on. I'll take Olajuwon, right? Houston, they went to what, 2 finals?
Yeah.
2 finals with them,
Slam
three Final Fours, I think. So I'll go with Olajuwon there. I debated, again, when I took Leitner, I was, again, my fandom thinking about Weber, those 2 years at Michigan. So, but Olajuwon, obviously.
All right, now we could snake it, but I feel like I'll just give you time to think, unless, although I feel like.
I think for point guard, I'll just go here because I have to take a point guard. So I'm not going to cheat because you could probably put Steph as a point guard technically, even though I think he's probably more of a shooting guard in college, especially. So I'm not going to go with him, but I'll go with Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose at Memphis. You know what?
So Derrick Rose
was incredible,
just explosive. I mean, you only got 1 year of Derrick Rose. But look, it's funny. I'm trying to think.
I thought you might go Isaiah Thomas, Indiana.
No, I mean that's a good one. I'll be honest. I forgot.
Derrick Rose was great.
I forgot about the Isaiah. Just in terms of Derrick Rose was another one similar to. I mean, obviously they had more, right? There was Douglas Roberts was on that. Chris Douglas Roberts was on that Derrick Rose team at Memphis, right?
That Memphis team was phenomenal. Yeah,
that Memphis team was great. I mean, he almost took them, to win the championship there. That was was that the worst loss in finals history? I mean, they were up 10 with what? All I remember is I had money because I forget what year it was. I had a lot of money, I think, on Memphis, and when they lost to Kansas, I they were up 10, and I can't remember. Was it 2 minutes left?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable collapse.
Something stupid.
Yeah,
But
Mario Chalmers, right?
Yeah, but I would take Derrick Rose.
A lot of people.
Because I also forgot about some. I forgot about some point guards. So.
All right, Parlay Kid, you can close it out for us.
Yeah, shooting guard. Again, a guy who's the MVP of 1999 tournament, and Rip Hamilton from UConn, Joel. He was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal UConn team. And again, what I'm looking at, I'm not looking for those guys who are all stars in the pros, really. I'm looking at guys that were just premier college players and won MVPs and won championships while they were there. And all five of those guys I just named were champions and MVP of the tournament that they won.
I love this, and I was going to let Michael and I decide, but we'll put it up on Twitter and let you guys decide, because look at this. You've got Magic against Bird. You've got Ewing versus Olajuwon. These are let's run it down really quick. Parlay Kid went Magic Johnson, Rip Hamilton in the backcourt. In the front court, he's got Danny Manning, Carmelo Anthony, and then Patrick Ewing at center. Brother Bri has got, oh my God, Derrick Rose and Michael Jordan. Then he's got Leitner and Bird. And look at that, the balanced team. Two of the all-time white guys in college basketball. And then Hakeem the Dream. It would have been Akeem back then. Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's right.
I can't decide. I truly can't, because some of my favorite players are on both. So we'll let you guys decide. Or you can always email us if we forgot anything. Still Against All Odds 2025@gmail.com. Yeah, I would love it. That game. We need to get that game played somehow. that dream college game. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Still Against All Odds. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Enjoy the tournament. I can't wait. I'm going to cut the nets down at Parlay Kid's house just to get in the spirit. I'm coming over, and I'm going to cut down the nets of your basketball hoop. Hey, for Mikey Meatballs in the D3, I'm Babyface Joel Solomon, and reminding you, no matter your parlay, always bet on yourself. Enjoy the tournament, everybody. I hope you win your poll. You got it. Whatever. Bye.
Peace.